The whole city had been shaken by the small earthquake that had hit it about an hour before. Lucy had lived in the Bronx all her old life, but never had she experienced such tremors. This one had shaken the old porcelain dove her grandma had left her off the shelf over the TV. Amazingly, it hadn't shattered when it hit the ground, landing in her cat's bedding. Where the hell was that damn cat anyway? It wasn't the earthquakes she needed to worry about, it was the damned people. This wasn't the best part of the city, and she was in constant fear of some drug-crazed maniac smashing her door in. That's why she didn't go much beyond her block. Only to work when they needed her, which wasn't today. Sometimes to go shopping, but she tried to do that on the days she worked. The crime wasn't as bad as she played it out in her head, but her perception of the world made it true for her. Although yesterday, when half the city's power went out, the city had been on the brink, she could almost taste it in the air. So she preferred to stay inside and watch TV. She was old enough now not to have to worry about other things, her children all grown up and moved away. Her precious Herbert long since passed. She would be 60 soon, and her life just needed to be easy. Just her, the TV, her job, her neighbors, and her cat. Although if that cat brought in another dead bird, she didn't know what she would do. It was 7 minutes after the tremor when the TV set went blank. It was still on. The TV program she was watching just cut out, the screen going black. In those precious seconds, before she was shown the truth about the world, she experienced nothing but peace. Not a single sound, not a single voice could be heard. Then the TV blared at her. A god-awful noise hit her and large text erupted onto her screen. A computer-generated voice began to speak to her, the text flowing upwards across the screen. "This is not a test. This is the National Emergency Alert System. Please stand by for an urgent announcement." Lucy sat enraptured, not sure what to make of this, although she did turn the volume down because it was just too loud. Her body might have been failing, but her hearing was still as good as when she had been a child. She remembered when Hurricane Sandy had hit, the same sort of message had been broadcast then. Those times had been bad, the way government had just left them to the forces of nature and chaos. What the hell was this now? The volcano under Yellowstone National Park has erupted. Considerable loss of life is expected. This is a national emergency. Please keep tuned to this broadcast. A map of the United States appeared. There were rings superimposed on the map in different colors. Most of North America was enclosed in the yellow oval, half the country in the orange oval, and a large section of the northwest of the country a red oval. The map stayed there, the text flowing across it. Florida seemed to have escaped whatever this all meant, but then Florida had its own problems. People in the yellow areas can expect considerable ash clouds over the next 48 hours that may make breathing difficult. Expect ash falls several inches thick. For your safety, please immediately stock up on food and water. Keep all doors and windows closed. Lucy looked and saw that she was in the yellow zone. She pulled herself upright out of her chair, the arthritis causing her to wince as usual. A car alarm began to blare in the street outside. Dragging herself over to the window, she pulled back the curtain and saw the street filled with her neighbors. Then a thought struck her. How much food did she have? Opening the cupboards, the answer was, not enough. Grabbing her purse, she forged to the front door and stepped outside into the street. When she wasn't watching TV, she liked to sit on her porch. That was the kind of outside she didn't mind because her street was safe. She knew most of the people here, had grown up with some of them. Despite the general neighborhood sliding downhill, this particular street was like an oasis of calm in the city's gradual slide into chaos. It had even avoided the worst of yesterday's violence, and she'd heard the rumors. Maniacs roaming the streets, driven mad by the sun. 2 doors over Beatrice had the radio on, that electronic emergency voice playing loud. People were talking, not knowing what to do. Most people looked around with nervous eyes. She walked slowly down the steps of her porch and over to her front gate. Several friendly faces turned to look at her. A few people waved. In the distance, there was the sound of gunshots. None of the people gathered understand the true extent of what was heading towards them.